Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. We are here to bring you the most pressing news stories and in-depth analysis from across the globe. We have a lot to cover this evening, with major stories developing both here in the United States and around the world. Our dedicated team of journalists and reporters have been working around the clock to ensure you are kept informed and up to date. From a powerful hurricane threatening the southeastern coast to escalating tensions in Eastern Europe, our team is working tirelessly to bring you the latest news and analysis. The hurricane, which has been upgraded to a Category 5, is expected to make landfall within the next 24 hours, causing widespread concern and preparation efforts. We'll also delve into important developments on the home front, including the Supreme Court's return to session with a docket full of controversial cases. These cases could have far-reaching implications for the legal landscape of our nation, and we will be providing expert insights and opinions on what these decisions could mean for you. The latest economic data as recession fears linger will also be a focal point tonight. With fluctuating stock markets and economic uncertainty, we will break down the numbers and what they signify for businesses and consumers alike. Our financial experts will offer their perspectives on how to navigate these turbulent times. And in a lighter segment, we have a heartwarming human interest story about the power of community. In times of crisis, it is often the strength and solidarity of local communities that shine through. We will share an inspiring story of neighbors coming together to support one another, showcasing the best of humanity. So, let's begin with our top story tonight: a Category 5 hurricane barreling towards the Florida coast, prompting mass evacuations and fears of catastrophic damage. Emergency services are on high alert, and residents are being urged to take all necessary precautions. We will have live updates from our correspondents on the ground, bringing you the latest developments as they unfold. Hurricane Epsilon, now a monstrous Category 5 storm with sustained winds of over 160 miles per hour, is rapidly approaching the Florida coast. This powerful storm has been intensifying over the past few days, and meteorologists are closely monitoring its path. The latest projections indicate that Epsilon is on a direct collision course with the Florida Panhandle. Residents in the projected path should prepare for the worst, as the storm's trajectory shows no signs of deviating. The National Hurricane Center warns of potentially catastrophic damage, with storm surge exceeding 15 feet in some areas. This surge, combined with the high winds, could lead to severe flooding and widespread destruction along the coast. Mandatory evacuation orders are in effect for millions of residents along the coast. Authorities are urging everyone in the affected areas to leave immediately and seek shelter inland. The roads are already congested with people trying to escape the storm's path. Governor DeSantis has declared a state of emergency, mobilizing state resources to assist with the evacuation and preparation efforts. The governor emphasized the importance of heeding evacuation orders and taking the storm seriously. Shelters are opening across the region, but officials warn that capacity may be limited. Residents are encouraged to stay with friends or family if possible, and to bring essential supplies with them to the shelters. We have reporters stationed along the coast, who will be providing live updates throughout the night. Our team is committed to bringing you the latest information as the situation unfolds, ensuring you stay informed and safe. Stay tuned for the latest on this developing situation. We will continue to provide comprehensive coverage, including emergency instructions, weather updates, and safety tips. Your safety is our top priority, so please stay with us for continuous updates. Turning now to the ongoing war in Ukraine, where Ukrainian forces have made significant gains in their counteroffensive against Russian troops. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky hailed the advances as a turning point in the conflict. However, Russia responded with a barrage of missile strikes on key Ukrainian infrastructure, plunging several cities into darkness. The escalation has raised fears of a wider conflict, with NATO closely monitoring the situation. We'll have analysis from our foreign policy experts on the potential implications of these developments and what they mean for the future of the war in Ukraine. Here in the United States, the Supreme Court begins its new term today, facing a docket packed with controversial cases that could have far-reaching consequences for American society. Among the issues before the court are abortion rights, gun control, and affirmative action. The court's decisions on these issues are sure to ignite passionate debate and could reshape the political landscape for years to come. We'll be speaking with legal experts throughout the term to break down the arguments and analyze the potential impact of the court's rulings. Stay tuned for our in-depth coverage of the Supreme Court's new term and its implications for the future of America. Section 5. Economic Update. Inflation cools slightly, but recession fears linger. In economic news, there was a glimmer of hope today, as new data showed inflation cooling slightly in September. This slight dip in inflation rates has been welcomed by many, especially after months of relentless price increases that have strained household budgets and business operations alike. However, prices remain stubbornly high, and economists warn that the threat of a recession is far from over. The cost of essential goods like groceries and fuel continues to pinch consumers, and many are finding it difficult to make ends meet. Despite the slight cooling, the overall economic environment remains challenging. The Federal Reserve is expected to continue raising interest rates in an effort to tame inflation, a strategy that has been met with mixed reactions. While some believe that higher interest rates are necessary to control runaway prices, others worry about the potential negative impact on economic growth. But there are concerns that aggressive rate hikes could tip the economy into recession. Businesses are particularly anxious, as higher borrowing costs could lead to reduced investment and slower expansion. Financial analysts are closely monitoring these developments, trying to gauge the potential fallout. We'll be speaking with financial experts to get their take on the latest economic data and what it means for your wallet. These experts will provide insights into how long this period of economic uncertainty might last and what steps you can take to protect your finances. Stay tuned for our continuing coverage of the economy and how it's impacting Americans from all walks of life. From small business owners to everyday consumers, we'll explore the real-world effects of these economic trends and offer practical advice on navigating these turbulent times. Our goal is to keep you informed and prepared for whatever lies ahead in this ever-changing economic landscape. Section 6. Nobel Prize announcements begin. Literature Award recipient revealed. In other news, the Nobel Prize announcements have begun, with the Literature Prize being awarded today to, name of author, a nationality writer known for their brief description of their work. The Nobel Committee praised name of author's work for its quote from the Nobel Committee's citation, highlighting the author's literary achievements. We'll have more on the Nobel Prizes and the other laureates throughout the week. Stay tuned for our coverage of these prestigious awards and the remarkable individuals who have earned them. Section 7. Historic spacewalk underway. All-female team conducting repairs on International Space Station. Turning our attention to space, a historic spacewalk is currently underway on the International Space Station. For the first time ever, an all-female team of astronauts is conducting repairs outside the orbiting laboratory. Astronauts, name of Astronaut 1 and name of Astronaut 2, are tasked with replacing a faulty battery unit that powers the station's solar panels. The spacewalk is expected to last several hours and is being closely monitored by Mission Control. Stay tuned for updates on this historic mission and the incredible work being done by these pioneering astronauts. Section 8. Entertainment news. Hollywood writers' strike reaches critical turning point. In entertainment news, the Hollywood writers' strike has reached a critical turning point as negotiations between the Writers Guild of America and the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers resume today. The strike, which began over 3 months ago, has brought Hollywood productions to a standstill, with numerous TV shows and films delayed indefinitely. Both sides are facing mounting pressure to reach an agreement, but significant differences remain on key issues such as residuals and artificial intelligence. We'll have the latest on the negotiations and what a potential deal could mean for the future of Hollywood. Section 9. Sports update. MLB playoffs begin, NFL season heats up. In sports, the Major League Baseball playoffs begin tonight, with the Team 1 facing off against the Team 2 in the American League wildcard game. Meanwhile, the NFL season continues to heat up as teams jockey for playoff positioning. We'll have highlights and analysis from all the games as well as interviews with players and coaches. Stay tuned for all the latest sports news and scores. Section 10. Human interest story community rallies around young girl battling rare disease. And finally tonight, a heartwarming story about the power of community. In City State, a community is rallying around a young girl battling a rare and aggressive form of cancer. name of girl, a bright and cheerful 8-year-old, was diagnosed with name of disease earlier this year. Her family was devastated, but they were determined to fight for their daughter's life. The community has come together to support the family, organizing fundraisers, donating blood and platelets, and offering words of encouragement. We'll have more on this inspiring story of hope and resilience. Section 11, signing off. Thank you for joining us. That's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you for joining us for this important newscast. We'll continue to monitor these developing stories and bring you the latest updates throughout the night. Stay safe and have a good evening.